This is something we got asked over at Love of the Star, was the idea of, like, what is the time between mini camp and training camp look like? Like, how does what is the team doing? Is this another one of these situations where the Joneses go off to...
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably should keep it behind the scenes moment.
Oh, hit me.
It's not really towards you. Maybe a little bit.
It's towards me.
This is a talking way too out loud point. And I realize it's not the worst thing for business to be doing this, but this is my honest, true feeling. Mm-hmm. When I see a Dallas Cowboys topic these days, I'm not exaggerating, I get like a little bit physically ill to my stomach, and that like I'm like forcing. It used to be that we would force ourselves to talk about non-Cowboys stuff, and I feel like, should we be doing this? Like, I feel like we're forcing a Cowboy topic, and I just wonder. The fan text may be different from Twitter, but I'm like, is this still the best thing for business and ratings? Because I feel dirty. I feel dirty talking about this football team right now. That's just my honest. That's what every day when I open up the email or I see a possible Cowboy topic, I'm like, are we force feeding this?
I mean, truth be told.
Now, with that said, the NFL draft numbers like skyrocketed, but even with all the stars and Mavs stuff, like the station's ratings during the NFL draft, like it doubled. It doubled what we've been doing.
Yeah,
that speaks to football and Cowboys and draft.
You can make a case that
it just feels
almost all
icky.
Football topics in the offseason are forced in some regard. Now, it's a calculated force.
No, I'm fine with talking about like pertinent, timely around the NFL stuff, but like coming up and developing Cowboy topics when there's no news, I'm just not. I don't personally like it right now. I'm not saying it's bad to do.
Oh,
I'm not attacking your content. That's just how I'm feeling about them.
Oh yeah, no, and I think, look, there's probably I haven't even opened the fan text yet to look at it. I'm sure on the fan text right now, there's a majority of people saying, yeah. The reality is
they're the standard.
No, but
the text is agreeing with you. I'm a lifelong fan.
Yeah.
Sick of them.
That's what they're going to say.
I agree with Shan. When I hear the Cowboys, my day gets a little worse.
What's the biggest story in the news right now for Dallas-Fort Worth sports?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Mavs, absolutely. And like, if you just go look at, like, as an example of like who still drives the needle, not who's the standard, who's of excellence, but who do people ultimately still want to talk about? Like, if you just go look at the segments we've posted from Mavs discussion, the last 6 of them, the highest viewed one is the last Cowboys topic we did that we posted to YouTube is 6 times more viewing traffic.
Yeah, if the Cowboys had a preseason game at 7:00 tomorrow night, it would double the Mavs.
Because then that's the thing. They can, and people will be upset about it, and that's fair. Look, this is it's interesting because I don't know if it's
funny
apathy. Like, we go through different emotions every offseason, it feels like, the Cowboys fans, where it's sometimes it's apathy, sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's excitement and optimism. And I don't know if this one is totally apathy, like people have tried to paint it. I think a couple of years ago was apathy. When they lost to San Francisco the first time at AT&T Stadium and no media showed up to Senior Bowl, really, to talk to Jerry. That was an offseason where I think nobody was very interested.
I'm just fed up. I'm fed up, and I'm currently tired and sick of feeding the animal. Yeah. That's the best feed. I'm sick of feeding the beast. I'm happy. I'm happy right now, thrilled that we don't have weekly Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones shows. Another personally against them, but I'm just happy that they're not taking place right now because they'd probably be contentious.
It is a matter of where your perch is of perspective. There are, like, this is the NFL's version of first world problems. They've won 12 games 3 years in a row. They haven't had a losing season where their quarterback didn't get hurt since like 2004. and we're complaining about 3 straight 12-5 seasons. Like that.
I don't think so. I think people are complaining about 29 straight years without a title.
We're apathetic about 3 straight 12-win seasons.
Yeah.
Where there are teams that haven't won 12 games 3 times in 3 decades. And it's a great position to be in because it does show there's a standard, as David Moore says, the Cowboys set the standard.
Yeah.
Right? But there's an expectation. But I mean, there are plenty of cities that were like, "Oh man, they look at us like you guys."
Well,
are just
I don't care about that.
children.
I don't care about them. Every city has that.
Yeah.
Yankee fans can feel the same way. Laker fans,
Yep, absolutely.
So good. Whoop-de-freaking do. 12-win seasons. That's good for us during the regular season, week to week, interest. But NFC title game berth. It's not even, like I said the other day, it's not even losing Super Bowls. Like, you're not even the Buffalo Bills. You can't even get 2 steps from it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's if we were to look over in the NFC, only Washington, right? Washington's the only team that it's been longer since they got to the conference title. That's it. And so that becomes a sticking point where people get frustrated. And it's
burned out, man.
Look, I'll be honest, I mentioned it earlier today, and I've talked about it during this offseason. I think it's going to take borderline miracle for them to be a 12-win team again this year. I just don't think they have it.
Wow.
I don't think it's 12-win team. I don't think they did enough to cover over what they lost. They don't have a lot of depth. There will be injuries. As soon as there are injuries, I don't know how they're going to weather them.
And I'm worried about, look, when you go into work and you feel like there's the pressure of make or break on you, like my bosses are going to decide my fate having to do with these next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are fine with it. Some people rise to the pressure. There's many people who are like, that sucks. And that's what this whole feeling is a cloud of over Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy. I would argue and believe it's very, very difficult to thrive with that set of circumstances over you, like your wife or spouse saying, I'm giving you 3 months, like 3 months, and I'm going to decide whether this marriage is going to stay or not.
Yeah.
What do you think the chances are of over that 3 months, like things being better versus worse? Not high. And that feeling, that stigma surrounding them, not setting up, I would factor that into roster moves. I put that right behind losses in the offseason of the circumstances surrounding them. Now, look, part of it is business, okay? It doesn't mean you just go keep re-signing everyone, because if they gave McCarthy an extension on top of bringing him back, we would have lost our minds, and Bobby's eyes are already bugging. But I'm just saying, for the purposes of going into the year, that feeling surrounding all that stuff, it's not good.
Yeah, I don't think... Look...
Micah's unhappy. Lamb is unhappy right now. Dak can't be thrilled. McCarthy can't be thrilled. Mike Zimmer can't be thrilled with his 1-year contract.
I think that was part of the sticking point when they were trying to get that. You remember that contract dragged on for a few days with Zimmer, and I think part of it was the security question. And look, the last time they set themselves up for something like this, where it's like, hey, we've got a entire season of change ahead of us where, hey, everybody's playing on these 1-year deals. The last time they did that was the 2019 team, where they had the highest point differential of any team to finish 500 or worse in the history of the NFL. They were dominant at times, and they were toxic at others. And it was an awful culture. That was when Michael Bennett got here and melted down in the locker room. Second week he was here, or whatever it was, post-game after the Buffalo game. And Michael Bennett, I know, has talked about, since he retired, when he reflects back on that time that he spent in Dallas, he's talked about they were broken when I got here. Like just culture, leadership, the chemistry. It was a bad taste in your mouth. Remember, we also had that was the same season of what's going to happen with Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard. Like, they're both kind of just riding things out here. Let's see. And then you had the Chris Richard, Ben Bloom tension at one point, their linebackers coach, where things got... And so the evidence we have says the last time they tried this, it went really bad across the board. It was really bad. I don't know why they think they can weather that again. That's why, to me, I think one of the biggest things they have to get done right now is you have to sign Dak or CD in the next 6 weeks. You got to get at least one of them done.